Okay, so Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Welcome. Good morning. News of the day type thing today. Again, these are just things that don't necessarily qualify for their own video. And in one case, it's yet. It's yet. But we'll see what happens with that article and we'll get to it. Jim Benning is to meet with Loui Eriksson this week. I would hope he's also meeting with Alex Edler. The longer that Edler remains unsigned for next season, the more I'm convinced that he's on his way out. The rumored sticking point with Edler is that he wants some kind of a no movement clause as he had in his last contract. The Canucks don't want to give him that because then they'd have to protect him in the next expansion draft. So if Benning's looking ahead 2 years, I'm proud of him for that. That being said, he's meeting with Loui Eriksson apparently regarding the comments made about his relationship with the coach, Travis Green, to a Swedish newspaper, and has admitted, yeah, maybe it's time to move on. Maybe it's best for him if he's moved. Didn't he watch the games? I mean, I'm a Benning supporter, but hasn't he watched what's been going on? Like, seriously, we can all see it, that Eriksson doesn't fit with the Vancouver Canucks at all. And it would be in the best interest of both sides to make it stop. The competition committee meets today, meaning that as soon as tomorrow, we may hear of some decisions they make that may change the way that the game is reviewed. Review is the big thing. There's also talk about other safety things being implemented. For instance, if your helmet comes off while you're on the ice, you have to leave the ice immediately. And if anybody's going to worry, like, oh, that's just going to be chaos. Nah, it's just going to mean guys have to tighten up their helmets. Tired of guys wearing helmets and they sneeze and they fall off. You know, we talk a lot about concussions and the NHL and its responsibility, but these guys have got to wear their helmets properly too. The trip the other night, for instance, where Achari lands on the back of his head. Imagine that without a helmet. And there are a lot of guys whose helmets would have fallen off on the way down. Anyways, Philly, they're working hard to sign Kevin Hayes. They want him. He knows that they want him, and he's open to signing there. But if I'm Hayes, I might be like, yeah, it'd be nice to sign in Philly, but I'd kind of like to see what everybody else is offering too. And that's the trick about getting a guy at this time of year. Because he's like weeks away from unrestricted free agency and going wherever he wants. Now he's got a new team like, hey, we want you. Yeah, that's okay. Okay. But you're going to have to pay him so that he won't test the free agent market, especially if he's looking for a long-term deal, meaning this might be his only chance to really cash in on the market. Arizona news, billionaire Alex Mariuello set to buy the team. The NHL Board of Governors will decide at some point this summer whether or not that sale goes through. A billionaire, that's the key word there. Andrew Barroway, who's been trying to get rid of the team, not that affluent. He's rich. Don't get me wrong, he's rich, but he's not as affluent as this guy coming in who's got a lot of money. And he would be the first ever Latino owner in the NHL, which doesn't surprise me. And it honestly, it'd be very interesting because I haven't seen anything in the articles either stating that Mariuello necessarily would guarantee that the team would stay in that area. I know the NHL Board of Governors will be asking about that. That's something they'll look at. And I know people don't. I know for fans of the Coyotes, they'll be happy to hear it. And there will be some fans who'll say, well, they shouldn't just make an owner stay there. They've done it already. They've done it before. If you're not interested in keeping the Coyotes in Arizona, sorry. Now, whether or not that might change because of the problems with the Glendale lease and just the feeling that the building isn't quite what they want it to be, I don't know. But this guy coming in as billionaire, NHL likes its money. Torey Krug has 1 year left at $5.25 million. It's starting to become kind of a flashing warning. You know what? I don't see Krug going this year, but there's going to be some cap issues for the Bruins as soon as next summer. And Torey Krug, they're talking about giving him a raise. I will say this again. Torey Krug is fantastic on the power play, but he is not a fantastic player 5-on-5. And with all of this spotlight that's been set upon him in the Stanley Cup Finals, I think he's being a little bit overhyped. And I say that as a Torey Krug fan. as a person who's loved Krug right from when he made his debut in the playoffs and scored goals. And was it 3 straight playoff games where he scored a goal? And man, I was just loving that kid and just for his abilities. But he's not. He's a solid defenseman. He's a 55, 60 point defenseman. Fantastic on the power play. He's going to get paid. But I do think he's being a little bit overhyped in the Stanley Cup Finals. This is why when teams have a long run like this, you end up seeing guys get contracts that 2-3 years down the road, everybody says, well, how did he get that? Because the team went to the finals and everybody saw what this player could do. And that's what we're experiencing with Torey Krug. It's nothing. I haven't seen anything from him that, as a Bruins fan, I wasn't aware that he could do. But for fans who didn't follow Boston, maybe they're seeing it and going, wow, he's pretty solid. The New Jersey Devils signed Jesper Boqvist to an entry-level contract, which is noteworthy because he's the older brother of Blackhawks prospect Adam Boqvist. So when I saw that, I went, wait, what? So I put this on the board because I saw Boqvist and I thought, wait, that's different. It's brother. So there you go. Just for anybody who sees that and goes, wait, the Devils signed Boqvist. I thought he was the Blackhawks. Yeah, he is. So we'll see if he makes the team next year. The Devils definitely looking for an infusion of talent up front. As more of a curiosity topic than anything else, Nick Ebert has signed a contract with the Ottawa Senators after playing in Europe this past season. Ebert was very highly thought of the year before he was drafted, and then it just stopped. And there was a lot of talk about he being the reason that it didn't work out. Now I've followed Ebert since then, and his stats have been pretty good, and he seems to have progressed pretty well. And the fact he played in Europe shows that if there was any kind of an attitude thing, or I'm bigger than everybody else attitude, that it's likely been tempered at this point. And he's one to watch for the Ottawa Senators this fall. The Senators will definitely have jobs open, and who knows? Maybe he ends up being a number 6 defenseman for the Senators. So I just thought I'd throw that on the board. And in the fall, if he makes the team, we can look back at this video and go, hey, Shannon mentioned him. Then if he doesn't, people can go, Shannon mentioned him. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Oilers. This is interesting in that Tom Anselmi was hired. He was part of Maple Leaf Sports Entertainment. So now he's been hired to work for the Oilers ownership group. And it seems to be about more than the Oilers, while Bob Nicholson becomes the Oilers chairman. So Anselmi was brought in with the idea that they want to see something more for the city of Edmonton. And while we can talk about what Edmonton is or Edmonton isn't, they have a state-of-the-art arena, which Calgary doesn't, and they want to attract more business to the city of Edmonton and really continue with the rejuvenation that started with that new arena and that whole downtown that they have set up. So bringing him in is with an eye on other things, and the first thing he gets asked is, hey, does this mean basketball's coming here? And he's like, probably not, but what else is he going to say, right? Like, oh, yeah, me being here means the NBA is going to want to go to Edmonton. But it is an interesting hire in that this is about more than just the Oilers. This is about concerts. This is about trying to get, new buildings, new facilities, and just capitalize on the revitalization of the city of Edmonton. So very interesting. Definitely something to look at and see if the Oilers really have it figured out now. They have their GM, they have their coach, and now they seem to be working on their organizational setup. Could be very, very interesting to watch over the next year, 2 years, 3 years, and see how this turns out for the city. But there you go. News of the day. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.